Hey, what is going on, Guardians? TBL here, and today is the day. It is finally Tuesday, January 30th, and you know what that means. Destiny Update 1.1.2 is out. This is going to be the one about Armor Masterworks. Now, today's a lot of things going on in the world of Destiny. We've got, of course, a new patch going into effect. We've got Iron Banner coming back with the changes that game mode is going to be seeing. But for this video, we're going to be covering the patch notes for Update 1.1.2 and all of the new things that they're going to be bringing to the game. First things first, Armor Masterworks are here, and here's everything you need to know about them. Any non-Masterwork armor may be upgraded to Masterwork for 5 Masterwork cores and 20 legendary shards. This is opposed to Masterwork weapons, which require 10 Masterwork cores, so it's going to be a little bit easier to get Masterwork armor than it is to get Masterwork weapons. Upgrading to Masterwork may rework the stat of an armor, so if you've got like a high mobility armor, it may rework it into a recovery armor, or vice versa. Masterwork armor grants a 3% damage resistance while players are in a super state for each Masterwork armor piece equipped. That means you can stack up to a 15% damage reduction if all 5 pieces of your armor are Masterworks, which is pretty significant damage reduction. That's going to be a difference maker definitely in PvP super on super battles. Masterwork armor can also have different stat packages, either heavy, light, or restorative from base armor pieces. So just in case you've gotten 2 of the same armor pieces, if one is a Masterwork, of course, it can be different than the normal piece. And of course, you'll be able to rework Masterwork armor to randomly assign one of these 3 base packages to the armor, allowing players to reroll the stat packages on their armor piece by piece. Reworking Masterwork armor will also require 1 Masterwork core and 10 legendary shards. And like weapons, Armor Masterworks have a higher drop rate from in-game activities like Trials of the Nine and raid activities. Alright, moving on to the next set of changes. Of course, the raid reward changes are going into effect. Here's what they are. Benedict 9940 now has a rotating stock of armor and weapons available each week. To unlock these items for purchase, players must complete the corresponding activity that week. So you can now directly buy raid gear from Benedict, and that raid gear is going to swap in and out week by week. But you'll have to have completed the raid lair, or the prestige versions of those activities in order to have that gear pop up. Raid encounters will now drop at least 1 armor or weapon per completion. So for all of you out there who are getting nothing but raid tokens every time you ran the Eater of Worlds or the Leviathan, you can now rest easy knowing that you're going to get at least 1 guaranteed drop per encounter now. Definitely a good change in my opinion. They also gave a note to this. The Castellum and Reactor Escape encounters each drop 1 legendary engram per week. Next, completing a prestige version of a raid encounter prior to normal difficulty will drop both prestige and normal rewards while also locking the weekly rewards for each activity. This is basically taking us back to something from Destiny 1, or if you remember in D1, if you ran the hard version of a raid rather than the normal version, you got double drops, and that was to account for you getting drops for hard mode and for normal mode, so you didn't have to go back and run the raid twice in order to get your normal mode rewards. They're bringing that back with the prestige version, which is good because we kind of needed a reason to run the prestige version of the raid. Next, the last encounter of raid activities has a chance to drop a new exotic ghost exclusive to the Leviathan. This is that special ghost that when dropped and equipped in the raid itself, it has a chance at getting you extra rewards like bright engrams and even extra exotics. Definitely looking to give you something more to grind for. After that are the changes coming to some of the raid gear pieces. Raid armor has unique mods that now only function within the Leviathan. Those raid mods can be swapped at will for the cost of 1 raid token, and existing raid armor that you've already gotten before this patch will automatically have the option to equip these mods, and these mods are going to have all kinds of special abilities on them. Now, it's important to note that normal, prestige, and lair gear all have the same perks, and this is what you'll have. For helmets, activating your super recharges your grenade. Well, there's going to be 1 of those for each element, so there's 1 for Void, 1 for Arc, and 1 for Solar. For your arm pieces, melee kills increase all damage by 20%, melee kills decrease all incoming damage by 20%, and melee kills can have a chance to drop heavy ammo. That last one is a very big one. If you're somebody out there like a Warlock with the Karnsteins and like a Devour build, I could see you being very, very happy with the amount of purple rain you're going to be getting all over the place with these mods. For the chest, Defeating challenging enemies with power weapons boosts power weapon damage by 15% for a short period of time. This is basically like a rampage perk for power weapons. Getting power weapon kills gives you a 15% damage buff with power weapons. That's going to be very helpful for swords and shotguns and stuff like that. Very powerful overall ability. For your boots, normal enemy kills with an energy weapon boost energy weapon damage by 15% for a short period of time. This is going to make guns like the Positive Outlook, the newly buffed Prometheus lens, super duper fun to play with as you're getting kills, especially with the Prometheus lens. You get a kill with it, you instantly restore your ammo, and boom, you got a 15% damage buff for the next enemy that you're taking down. Definitely a very strong change. And of course, for the class item, you get that 25% more ability damage for each element, Solar, Arc, and Void, which is all in all a very powerful ability in and of itself. Altogether, these are some pretty heavy-hitting changes that I wasn't really expecting. I figured with the class item being that 25% bonus to ability damage, I figured that would be the strongest thing we'd get on all of these mods, but some of these are really strong. Getting a 15% bonus to your energy weapon damage after getting energy weapon kills, or your power weapon damage after getting power weapon kills, added on top of the whole melee kills dropping heavy, or, decreasing incoming damage by 20%, or increasing your damage by 20%. These are some really big mod changes, and I think that if this is the kind of roadmap that they're taking forward with raid and activity specific gear, the mods and whatnot that you'll have on like raid gear or trials gear, stuff like that moving forward, we've got some really interesting times ahead, and I really want to see what they're going to do with the greater mod system for weapons and armor moving forward. But this is definitely something worthwhile. If you've got raid gear on your character, go put these mods on right now because they are going to make you significantly more powerful on the Leviathan. I think some of these changes are really good. The raid mod system is definitely something that was very heavily needed by Destiny 2 right now because there was no real reason to wear raid armor. We didn't have any sort of specific perks or mods on them that made running the raid easier. So having something that's powerful like these mods look to be, that's exactly what we needed to see. Alright, after that we've got some sandbox changes coming your way. First up, the Prometheus lens is finally seeing a buff. The Flame Refraction perk now generates ammo instead of pulling it from reserve, so if you're getting kills, it's just going to keep refilling the magazine from thin air basically, and they're increasing its base damage. Unfortunately, they didn't tell us how much they're increasing it by, but it is getting a base damage increase, hopefully putting it back to a level that was similar to its performance in PvE before. They've also fixed an issue where the illegally modded holster perk on the Lucky Pants could provide you infinite ammo, and they fixed an issue where the Cobra Totemic perk on the Ophidian aspects did not function properly when using weapons with the Quick Draw perk. Finally, they revised perks on the Eater of Worlds grenade launcher I Am Alive to include a second trait perk, Moving Target, and they've removed the Augmented Drum and High Velocity Rounds perk. Finally, they fixed an issue where grenade projectiles could remain indefinitely after being hit by Telesto in the Crucible. That was a glitch I only ever saw once or twice, but it's good to know that they're addressing it here. After that, we got some general bug fixes, changes to activities like the Heroic Mercury events, and some changes to the reward system in Destiny 2. They've reduced the amount of overall XP required to earn an illuminated engram from 160,000 to 120,000. This is a decent change, although you'll probably remember it only took around 80,000 experience before they changed things back in December to earn an illuminated or bright engram. At least before they bumped it up to 160,000 when they took out the XP throttling system. Well, anyways, that's been reduced down to 120,000, so you should be earning those illuminated engrams just a little bit faster now. And beyond that, they've finally fixed the issue where 3 of coins were not increasing the chances for exotic rewards when players were completing public events on Mercury. But there we go, Guardians. Those are some of the biggest changes that have come in Destiny Update 1.1.2. If you'd like to see the full patch notes, we will have a link to that in the description box below. With Iron Banner going live, the new raid reward system and Masterwork armors now added to the game, there's probably a few things for you to actually shoot for when playing Destiny 2 now. So get out there and get busy, and be sure to let us know what you guys think of all of these changes down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all of the latest Destiny 2 news, guides, information, and everything else. But alright, that's it for this one, Guardians. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.